And let's start with some political developments in India, where Bahujan Samajwadi Party's chief Mayawati has announced today that the BSP will contest the by-polls for all 11 assembly seats of Uttar Pradesh on its own. The seats had been vacated after the BSP MLAs had got elected to the Lok Sabha. Mayawati also said that though the party was taking a break from the Samajwadi Party's alliance, this is not a permanent break. In an internal party meeting, Mayawati had also expressed dismay over the fact that Akhilesh Yadav could not even get his own wife Dimple Yadav elected from a Yadav-dominated constituency. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari takes charge as the Minister for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises today. Besides the MSME sector, the Union Minister has also retained the charge of the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Dr. Harshvardhan has assumed office as the Science and Technology Minister today. Yesterday, Dr. Harshvardhan had in fact taken charge as the Union Health Minister. Now, Pratap Chandra Sarangi, the man who's been described as Odisha's Modi, has taken charge as the Minister of State in the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Ministry. He's also been allocated the Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries Ministry as well. Now, H. Vishwanath has tendered his resignation from the post of the party president of the Janata Dal Secular. He cited non-cooperation from the Congress for his decision, which he claims had led to the humiliating debacle in the recently concluded Lok Sabha elections. Now, H. Vishwanath especially lashed out at former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and also some of the irresponsible comments that had been made by leaders of his own party, which he stated had led to such a poor performance by the JDS. Businessman Robert Vadra, the husband of Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, was questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in New Delhi earlier today. Vadra is in fact facing allegations of money laundering in buying a property in London worth almost about £1.9 million. Now, Robert Vadra had posted on Facebook earlier this morning that he was being questioned by the Enforcement Directorate for the 13th time after having been interrogated by it for almost about 80 hours. Last week, he had skipped the scheduled appearance before the probe agency, citing ill health. A 23-year-old man who was admitted at a private hospital in Kerala's Ernakulam district has tested positive for the deadly Nipah virus. The National Institute of Virology, which tested the man's blood samples, has confirmed the presence of the virus. Kerala's Health Minister KK Shailaja has also confirmed the case. Now, according to the World Health Organization, 18 Nipah cases had been reported in Kerala last year, out of which 17 people had died. The virus is transmitted from animals to humans and then spreads through people-to-people contact. It is associated with fatal encephalitis and also with respiratory illnesses. At this point of time, there is no known vaccine against this virus. New Delhi's government has said that almost about 1 million women will be able to enjoy free public transportation as a part of an attempt to make the Indian capital safe for women. The Delhi's Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party's national convener Arvind Kejriwal on Monday had announced free rides in metro trains and also in buses for almost about 85,000 women who intend to avail themselves of the facility. Now, the decision, which is likely to cost the government approximately about 1,600 crores this year, has been taken just a few months ahead of the assembly elections. Now, all of Sri Lanka's Muslim ministers and also their deputies have resigned from their portfolios. They resigned after accusing the government of failing to guarantee the safety and security of the nation's minority Muslim community, which makes up about 9% of the total Sri Lankan population. The resignations come a day after the Sri Lankan firebrand monk Galagoda Athanane Sara Thero had led a demonstration in Kandy to pile pressure on the government to sack Muslim politicians. In just the last 1 month, Sri Lanka has witnessed some unprecedented communal violence, and Muslims have been repeatedly attacked and targeted and have been blamed for the serial bombings on Easter. Now, Israel's First Lady, Nechama Rivlin, has passed away this morning. The wife of President Reuven Rivlin was 73 years old. Now, Nechama suffered from some kind of an interstitial lung disease and reportedly even used an oxygen tank for many years to assist her in breathing. Now, despite this, she often accompanied the Israeli president on trips around the world. The Sudan's military leaders have said that they are scrapping all existing agreements with the main opposition coalition and will hold elections in a span of the next 9 months. The announcement came as the military has been faced with mounting international condemnation for the violent attack on the protesters in the capital city of Khartoum, which resulted in the deaths of at least 35 people and also caused injuries to hundreds of others. The crackdown came after the military and protesters had agreed for a 3-year transition period before civilian rule could be established. The protests have erupted in the South American country of Argentina. Thousands of people took to the streets of the capital, Buenos Aires, and marched against gender-based violence. The Argentines joined the march to call on the government to enact stricter policies to protect women and also other marginalized genders. They demanded for the attackers to not walk freely. So as the world marks the 30th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre, Taiwan has called upon China to face up to the historical mistakes and apologize for them. China has responded by saying that the achievements that have been made by China show that the path of development followed by China has been the right one. So on this day, 30 years ago, there were hundreds of students who are reported to have been gunned down by the Chinese forces who were protesting against the Chinese government. The construction of Russia's largest cargo rail terminal is presently in full swing. The terminal, located on the outskirts of Moscow, is expected to greatly facilitate cargo's transportation between Asia and Europe. The construction of the terminal began in 2018, and the total investment for the entire project is estimated to be over $300 million. By the year 2022, investors expect the terminal to be fully completed, distributing containers, and the Russians see the Belvy Rast as a pet project and also a business model that needs to be replicated in future if it proves to be successful. When the Belvy Rast terminal reaches its full capacity, as much as about 600,000 tons of cargo will be processed annually, serving European and Asian customers. Now, the younger sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un appeared in public on Monday for the first time in more than 7 weeks. The sixth sister, Kim Yo-jong, was seen beside her brother clapping at a public event in Pyongyang, casting further doubts on media speculation that Kim Jong-un had ordered her to disappear after the failed nuclear summit talks with the United States at Hanoi earlier this year. Apart from Kim Yo-jong, Kim Jong-un's wife and also other top officials were also present at Pyongyang's 150,000-seater May Day Stadium, where thousands of gymnasts, dancers and flip card-wielding people in the stands worked in precise unison to perform the Land of the People. The farmers in Qatar are turning arid desert land into giant farmland to provide fresh produce to its population. The country was in fact cut from its neighbors and the main food suppliers due to a very severe diplomatic crisis with the Arab Quartet that includes Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, amongst others, which is now entering into its second year in June. Now, Apple has announced that iTunes will be replaced by Apple Music, Apple Podcasts and also Apple TV. The Apple Music app will be focused on music and personalized recommendations. The podcast will utilize machine learning, while the Apple TV app will help users blend content from networks along with original programming from Apple. Now, the announcement was in fact made during the annual developer conference, where the tech giant outlined its software plans for the months ahead. Now, Apple has also announced a new sign-in that will be an alternative to help users log into apps using social media accounts, hiding the user's email address and data. A Russian-made AN-32 transport aircraft of the Indian Air Force has gone missing since Monday. More than 24 hours on, the wreckage of the aircraft is yet to be traced. The search and rescue operations resumed earlier this morning after the weather cleared up, but the rescue teams were still unable to locate the wreckage. Now, the aircraft took off from Jorhat in Assam at about 12:25 p.m. and it was headed towards Mechuka in Arunachal Pradesh, which is near India's border with China.